Today I wanted to talk about the Rasmus Sandin trade we made towards the end of last season at the deadline and just go over whether or not I think it was a good trade moving forward. Taking a look at the trade, first of all, what exactly was it? Pretty simple trade. We picked up just Rasmus Sandin and his contract, and we gave away Eric Gustafsson. LOL, they thought he was actually going to be a part of a deep run. And Boston's first round pick that we got in the Orlov trade. At the time when it happened, I was actually quite a fan of the trade, and I still am. I think that this is going to be a great move for the team moving forward. It was pretty clear Toronto, for whatever reason, just didn't really vibe with Sandin too much. I'm not sure exactly why. He didn't always play the best. However, he is still quite young. He is 23. Not quite a prospect. It is make it or break it time for a guy like that who is projected to be a top 4-minute eater D-man. However, I still think he is going to be a solid contributor to this Capitals team for the next decade, probably. When you look at the trade, we really didn't give up that much. Sandin was picked 29th overall, and we gave up the 28th pick to get him. So in terms of value, it's pretty much pick for pick for where Toronto selected him. They picked up Easton Cowan. I'm not too sure. I don't know much about him. I don't think he is really that much of a stud of a prospect yet. So in terms of the trade in a vacuum, I think it is a great trade. We picked up a pretty good asset that a team was just needing to get flipped for a depth piece for their playoff run, and it worked out quite well for the Capitals. A lot of his season last season with us as well got overshadowed, I think, by the lack of success we had. I mean, we had the 8th overall pick in the draft. However, even with a -7 for plus minus, which, you know, you can take it or leave it on a good day, but especially when you have a team that is bottom 10 in the league, even with that, he put up 15 points in 19 games, which is phenomenal. If the Capitals were doing anything relevant last season, he would have had so many more eyes on him, and people would be talking about him a lot more for this upcoming season. A big part of his point production definitely was the injury of John Carlson. He got quite a bit of PP1 time. So, you know, again, you can kind of look at it with a grain of salt. However, the fact that he was able to put up those points at all really speaks to the talent that we have in Sandin. Now, going forward, hopefully John Carlson isn't injured much this season again. He really isn't usually. Last season was kind of a blimp in his record in terms of injuries. I have no reason to believe he will not be healthy. Even if he is, though, I do think Sandin can put up a ton of points. I would not be surprised if we get 50 to 60 points out of him. You know, he is going to get power play 2 time. I have no doubt about that. It would be John Carlson as 1, Sandin as 2. He's still going to get the pass to Ovi. He's still going to get a couple points off of that. And I think he is going to be the main guy on the second unit. I think it's going to be John Carlson and Ferravari. They work wonderfully together. And then it's going to be Sandin and Jensen. It's going to be interesting to see how those two work because neither of them are necessarily great at defense and they are defenders. But for point production wise, I do think Sandin is going to come in and just be an absolute beast. He's not great defensively, like I just said, but he is really talented offensively. You saw him make some amazing plays last season. It was quite funny watching the reactions of some of the guys on the team. It was pretty clear they didn't know much about him, particularly TJ Oshie. There were a few plays I can remember where TJ Oshie almost looked like shocked, like, oh my God, you just did that? What the hell? So, you know, that was just kind of funny. He's a great passer, great vision. He's quick, nimble, agile, a huge hitter too, which is great because now we have Ferravari and Sandin. Our top four for the foreseeable future is just going to be railing guys all game long. Pause. So I can't wait for that. And overall, I do think this is a great move for us. Right now, his cap hit is 1.4 for this season and next season, I do believe. Fact checking it, nope. Last season on the contract, last season was 1.4, and then this season is 1.4 as well. However, he is an RFA, so I don't see too big of an issue. And we got Wilson at a pretty good cap hit. So with guys like Mantha coming off the books, the cap going up a little bit, hopefully. I think it's projected to go up in the $2 to $4 million range. We should have no issue getting him signed. I would like to see us go long term if he shows us the capability to be a force long term. And I don't see any reason why he shouldn't, especially with the guys we have. I still don't think we're going to be a great team, but I think the team is good enough to really bump up Sandin. And I could see us keeping him for the next 10 years until he is 33, and then maybe flipping him like we did for Orlov. I think this is going to be a wonderful trade moving forward, and it really solidifies the back end for the next couple seasons at minimum, right? Without him, I mean, we're looking terrible. We are god-awful on the blue line without Sandin because we'd have Ferravari, Edmondson, Alexiev. No thank you. I like Sandin a lot more, even though his defensive game will have issues. You do have to just kind of give and take, especially when you're maxed out on the cap. Like, we don't have any money to spend. It was quite a gift to get a guy like Sandin who can play top 4 minutes for such a cheap deal. And I wouldn't be surprised if we give him a contract similar to what we gave Ferravari, 2.6-ish to anywhere up to maybe 4 million. We give him for a couple seasons. Overall, I give it a double thumbs up. I can't wait to see what he brings to the team this upcoming season. I really hope he can dial in the defense. If he can become a better defender, this guy is going to be a great player for the Capitals for the next decade.